Today we'll discuss about web security. Web security is providing the security for web services. Web services are, according to this W3C, that is World Wide Web Consortium, web services are software systems, and usually these systems are identified by Uniform Resource Identifier, and interfaces, public interfaces of these web systems, that is software systems, and bindings are defined and described by XML. It is a markup language, and user defined tags are used to develop the websites as a web services. Okay, according to user application, what are the tags for that particular application is required now, those tags only you can create with the help of this XML tag. That's why XML language, that's why here you are using the XML to create a web services. And in the web services, two entities are involved. One is the service provider. What are the services they want to publish or register? First they have to register or publish their services in a registry. So now after that, service requester, if they want any type of the services, first they have to check in the registry to discover whether that services are available or not, and who are providing, which service provider will provide those services. Once the service requester get to know that required services are available by that particular service provider, then it binds to and invokes the services from that provider here. So here you are using the provider to provide the services, and requester, they will request the services, okay, to the registry. Even provider also register their services in the registry, like a publish, and requester request for the services through the discover. And when they get to know that what are the services they require, those services are available from which provider, then they will bind and invoke that particular service provider. So now here you are using one of the protocol, that is simple object access protocol. This is the protocol usually used for communication purpose. Okay, if you are using the web services, any services if you want to access, for accessing that you require the communication. For communicating you are using the one of the protocol. What is that? Simple object access protocol, and it is a structured information. Okay, so now here this over the internet you are using the structured information if you want to exchange. As I told earlier, web services are created using the XML. XML is one of the structured, okay, format. You will get the all the information in the structured format using the W3C standard here. So know those information, those structured information, if you want to transfer over internet, then it is possible using what? Simple object access protocol. This is the protocol used for communication purpose, and this can be used over any transport protocols here. And usually this one also you are used to define a modules for processing individual or one-way messages. Okay, and you are using one more term here, SOP binding. SOP binding is a mapping between the SOP messages, that is the SOAP, you usually call as a SOAP message, and underlying transport protocol. So now SOAP message is communicated with the help of what? SOAP here, okay, and it is and it can be used over any transport protocol. So this mapping only you call as what? SOAP binding here. Okay, so now SOAP may run on top of HTTP or SMT, means it is the extension of, okay, SOAP is the extension of, it may be the extension of HTTP or SMT here, SMTP here. So message format of SOAP. So it consists of three parts. That is, the first main part is SOAP envelope. This is the first tag, comes under in the SOAP message, and next one is the header. That header element contains the generic control information, credential related informations, okay, or it may be contain information that influence payload processing here. That is the addresses of the source and destination, all those things may be, it is contained in the SOAP header, and this is optional here. Next one is the SOAP body. That element represent the message. What are the text or message you want to transfer? No, that message comes under in this SOAP body here. This is the format here. This is the one example. So now, as I told, it may be the extension of the HTTP. This SOAP message in HTTP post request. This is the request message, and this request message for stock price. Okay, stock code of the stock name, that is the my startup here. And you are using the XML here, version of the XML, and here SOAP, as I told, first. Okay, first formatting the format. First is the, like you are in the HTML, first it starts with the head tag, no? So in the same way here it starts with the envelope here, and SOAP, that is the your address, okay, URI, and the destination URI, and now we want the price of this, get price as a request here. Now for that you will get the response, that is the SOAP message in the HTTP response. That message contains what is the price of this particular stock code. That price you will get as a response here. Okay, this is the request message and this is the response message. This is the format of the SOAP message example. Next is web services definition language. SOAP is what? It is a communication protocol, and now that communication protocol you are used to communicate about the different types of the services over internet here. Next is what are the network services you will define using this or described using this XML, that structured information, that one you call as a services, and those services you can define using what? Web services definition language. Okay, it contains the where the services is located and what the services will do. Okay, now your services are created, which service you require, that service, where it is located, that location usually you call as a URL, and what type of the services each service will provide and how you can invoke that service. All those informations you will get from this web service definition language here. So here one of the example is operation. It define a definition of an action. What action? Okay, if any type of the queries it comes, for that what are the action will perform, no, that one you call as a operation. And message. Okay, definition of data being exchanged as a part of operation. Which type of the data is exchanged, that one you call as a message. Message is the data and exchange as a action, that one you call as an operation here. And web services definition language, it define about the services, which type of the services are available and where it is available and what is the purpose of the services. Next, one more thing is there, that is UDI, Universal Description, Discovery and Integration. It is a registry or a catalog that allows business across the globe to list themselves in internet. So what are the web services are available? All those web services you will get in global, that is what you call as a Universal Description, Discovery and Integration. So now here for any client, if want to access the any type of the services, you call client as a what here? Requester, and they will query to the registry services, which type of the services they want. So now that one they call as a discover. Okay, they will send as a query, that one you call as a discover here. And for that response, access to the WSDL. Okay, so WSDL, that is what? Service definition language. What are the services you will get? No, that services is available where and what is the purpose of the service. That information if you want, then you have to get the access to the WSDL. Here you will get the details about the all the services here. When client will request for the registry services, then okay, this UDI allows the response to access this WSDL, and there only that client will get to know that where that particular service is available, how I can access those services, who are the service provider, that informations you will get. Next one is the security. All these are the some of the basics about the web services. Okay, now you clear about it. Is it clear now? What are the web services basics? Now question is security. If you want to access any of the web services over internet, so now while accessing you have to provide the security here, because internet is an open source network. To provide the security for those services, what do you call? WS security. That one you are generate the token types as a security tokens, and here web services are developed using what? XML. So that's why here you are using the XML encryption and XML signature. These are the three terms you are used to provide the security for web services. Token. Now this is the one of the security token. This is the username. This is one example. Like that you are having so many tokens, okay, to provide the security for web services. One among those one is username token. This username token contains what? Name of the users, okay, password, nouns, timestamp, okay. So now here N indicates what? It is the nouns, and T indicates what? Timestamp, and PW is the password. And for this one, this, okay, whole thing will take as a one message, and for this message you are applied one of the, okay, hash function, that is the SHA-1. So now after applying the SHA-1, what are the hash key we'll get? No, that hash key, okay, that hash key also you are sending in a username token. The username token, what it contains? Username, password, nouns, and the hash key, okay. Hash key, whatever it is created, no, that one it generates as a one token and it sends, okay. That is what you call as a username token, and this is one type of the security token. XML encryption. So XML encryption element, it contains three encrypted data. Okay, this it contains, one thing is what? In the encrypted data, first one is it contains type. Type is the which type of the information that web service contains. Okay. Next one is the, for that information, which type of the encryption algorithm or encryption method is used to encrypt that particular information. Next is the, this is encrypted data. Encrypted data tells what? Type of the data and encryption method. Next one is the cipher data. So now this cipher data, so now here cipher data you may be converted in the another form, like as a hash key. Then you will take as a reference. Hash key is the reference for the cipher, or that cipher itself only it may contain. Okay, cipher data contains what? References to the cipher, or it may be the cipher itself. Next is the encrypted key. So for converting your plain text to ciphertext, you are using the encryption. For encrypting, which type of the key you are used, whether it is a pre-shared key or a session key. That information you will get from this element, that is the encrypted key here. Next, okay, for providing the security, one way you are using as a token types, that is you are generating the security tokens, and those security tokens provide the security. One more is the XML encryption, and another one is the XML signature. XML signature contains what? Signed info, signature value, key info. So sign info, it contains the canonicalization method, that is the standard format. Which standard format you are generated the signature, that format it specify here. And for generating that signature, what are the methods you are used? So it may be the any of the method, okay, to generate the signature. Okay, it may be a RSA or LGML, okay, those are the signature methods are there. Using those methods, which method you are generated signature, that method name you have to specify here. Next is the reference. Reference, it transforms. So reference means, as I told here, URI, Uniform Resource Identifier. So now for identifying the web services, you are using the identification as a URI, and that URI you are transforms. Okay, how you are transformed and which digest method you are used. Digest method means what? To get a message authentication code, which type of the method you are used. For example, hash key, hash function, SHA, okay, or message, okay. message digest. You can call as a hash key as a message digest here. So what are the hash function you were used to get a MAC, that is the message authentication code, which method you are used, that method, and what are the value you'll get. Okay, after applying the hash function, what are the value you'll get? No, that hash key, that one you call as a digest value. Okay, so these are the information comes under signed info. Next one is the signature value. Signature value is the digital signature. Okay, or an entire signature element. So now as I told here, that signature may be, okay, old signature may be there, or it may be in the form of the hash value here, digest value. That one it comes under in this signature value. Key info, key required to verify digital signature at the receiver end. So that is the genuine or digital certificate, whatever it is generated, no, that one is original or not. Whether it is a fake or original digital certificate, or that is digital signature, to verify that we need a key. That key you are getting from key info here. This is about your XML signature. Next one is the SAML, SAML, Security Assertion Markup Language. So this is the XML based standard. It is created to enable portable identities and the assertion these identities want to make here. So now here you know that you define say standard message exchange protocol here. So now exchange protocol means what it is. For communication you are using the SOAP here. With the help of that, mutually or both the entities, if they want to communicate, even if the sender and provider want to access the services, requester, then provider has to provide the services here. Before that, provider and requester has to prove themselves as a mutual authentication. For proving that, they have to exchange their identities. Okay, that is what you call as a portable identities. And assertion, these entities want to make here. Assertion means you are having the three types of the assertions. Let's see what are those assertions. So now to specify that how it is transported. Okay, that service identity of the provider and the requester, how it is transported using single sign-on. So in XML, in metadata, it contains the credential information. That credential information, if it is having the single sign-on means digital certificate. Example I am telling. So that is enough to prove the credential. So then once if you are sent the digital certificate, so now receiver with the help of the key, they will verify that digital signature. Other than that, if you are using the any other identities, then you have to mutually transfer the more than one information to prove their identity here. Okay. So next one is portable trust. Portable trust, a user whose identity is established and verified in one domain can invoke services in another domain. In one domain, if your identity is proved or verified, then same thing you can move for the invoke the other services also. Any other services if you want. From the one provider, you access the services. While accessing, you have to prove your identification. That identification, it is verified for that provider. After that, if you want to get some other services from other providers, that is what you call as a domains. From one domain, you are already access the some of the services. You want some more services from another domain. Then it is not necessary to prove your identity once again. Once if it is verified, yes, you can access the services from another domain also. That is what you call as a portable trust. Portable trust means what? This domain will transfer all the trust. Okay, another domain is having the trust on this particular domain here. As I told, assertion. Okay, in the SAML, assertion is a claim or statement or declaration of a fact made by SAML authority. Authentication. First assertion is authentication. Authentication means what? Authenticate. Okay. Each subject has to authenticate it by a particular time here. Authorization. Authorization means what? Grants or denied access to specified resources. Once if it is that particular subject is authenticated, Next, you have to check which type of the resources you are available. Okay, you will provide that particular authenticated subject to access here. Okay, so as I told earlier, read, write and execute, these are the three types of the grants. Okay, so now for some authentication, okay, some subject you have the authority to only read that particular services. Another subject, even that subject is also authenticated, but for that subject you have both the okay, grants here, either to read or to access. Okay, so like that, based on their authentication, you have to decide which type of the resources you are allowed to access by that authenticated subject here. Attributes, a subject is associated with the supplied attribute here. Next is other standards. So WS Web Service Trust here and WS Security Policy. First we'll see the WS Trust here. So this is the one diagram. Here as an importer, I as an importer want to exchange some service with the exporter here. E is an exporter here. So now for that, first this I want a security token. If they want to exchange the web services, this I first need the security token. So for that, this I will communicate with the IB. Use the help of the SOAP, it communicates with the importer's bank. Importer's bank will check the identity of the importer. Okay, I. So once that identification is verified, this IB will send a request to CB here, correspondent bank. This correspondent bank acts like a security token service provider. Okay, token service provider. Security tokens are provided by this CB. So now the CB trust on this IB. Okay, CB is not check the identification of I here. It trusts on IB. Okay, importer's bank, and it generates a security token, and that security token it sends to IB. Next, IB will transfer that security token to I here. Now I can send that security token to E, okay, as an exporter. So now here this exporter, what will do now? To check that whether it is a secure token or not. First it sends that security token to EB. Even EB can also verify that. If this VB is unable to verify, then it sends that to CB here. CB, obviously it is the generated by CB only. Once it verify, then it sends the trust to the EB. Then that trust will be sent to the E. Trust means verified. Okay, yes, it is verified. You can communicate here. So like this, I and E, now it communicates here. Okay, I is the importer and E is the exporter here. So that is what you call as a WS trust here. Okay, in this way web service trust will be generated. Next one is the WS security policy here. The web security policy, it enables a web service to specify the security tokens it will accept for authentication and access control. For authentication and access control, you have to provide some security policy here. That is what you call as a WS security policy here. Based on that, we will prove the credentials of all the identities here. Okay, that is the subject here. Is it clear now? This is how we will get the security for the web here, web services here.